Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we're having a look at Push from Kymatica. So Push is a compressor, limiter, expander, noise gate, and it's very good. So I've set up certain things in audio share just to demonstrate different uses of compression. First of all, a little bit about compression. Compression reduces the dynamic range of an audio signal, basically. So if you've got a singer who, I mean, most singers do, compression is perfect for vocals. If you've got a singer who has quite a wide range during one track, so maybe quiet in one part and then getting louder in the choruses and stuff, compression will kind of make the volume louder in the quiet parts and quieter in the loud parts. You could do this with, if you were on a mixer, you could control the mixer fader channels yourself to get the same effect, or you could automate them. But however, a compressor will probably do this better. So uses of compression are like for dynamic instruments, acoustic instruments like drums work very well with compressors because there's obviously drum hits are going to be too loud in the mix and stuff like that. Bass guitars, slap bass in particular, because there's a lot of twanging and pulling that jumps straight through the mix that you don't really want. Obviously you can compress electronic instruments, and you can use compressors for that pumping effect that you get as well, but we're going to look at it all basically, and what it all does and how it all works. So this compressor is quite good. This is a compressor and an expander. Expanding is the opposite of compression. Instead of compressing the dynamic range, you're expanding the dynamic range, and the ratio here is very important as well. So if we go negative, you will see that this part of the line will move up. That's expanding the dynamic range. Expansion can be dodgy. You have to be very careful. And if we go this way here, you'll see that we're compressing the dynamic range. So this line here, this imaginary line here, is the sound will come up to that line and be killed dead. So at the moment you see the ratio says 14 to 1. So it's basically 14 to 1. That means that everything over that goes 14 dB over the threshold will be killed, will be stopped, and stopped in its tracks. And usually at this point now you've got like 1 to 2, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 3 to 1. For every 3 decibels that goes over the threshold, only 1 decibel will be allowed past that point. So that's quite mild. Anything over sort of 12 to 1, 13 to 1, 15 to 1, you're getting into the realms of limiters, which kind of smack things back violently, sort of thing. But you'll see what I mean as it goes on. But we'll just set this at the moment, double tap it back to 1 to 1, so everything goes through the compressor basically. Okay, we also have a noise gate here, which is very nice as well, which we shall look at. You can also sidechain with this, which I'll show you as well how to do that as well. So I've got lots of different things set up for you to listen to. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look at vocal compression. So I've got this thing here. You can see this wave in audio share is quite dynamic. It starts very quietly. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are, and it'll go along and it'll do this.
And now I shall talk quite loudly.
Okay, so as it goes along like that. So we go back to Push, and I'll play the file now. And you will see that the ratio is set on 1 to 1 and the threshold is at 0 dB. Now, because the ratio is set onto 1 to 1, wherever I put this threshold isn't going to do nothing to the sound. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are looking at compression and also Push from Kymatica. Okay, so now I'm talking normally, but let's increase the ratio. Whisper very quietly.
And now I shall talk quite loudly. This will
demonstrate the uses of compression quite well. Vocal compression in particular.
But also, you can use this
for other dynamic instruments like guitars, saxophones,
drums,
and quiet talking also. if you want to make your mix sound equal in proportion to what you're actually saying or singing or doing. Okay, so this should have give you a good idea of how compression can work in those situations. Now, the attack and the release on a compressor. The attack is how quickly the compression takes place once the signals hit the threshold, and the release is how quickly it comes back to normal. Okay, this is better easily shown later when I do a sidechain thing. You can hear it better. Now, if you listen to this, so you can see that the more I go down, my quieter parts are being made louder, and the louder parts are being made quieter. So if I go right back like this, just let me take the makeup gain down a little bit. Normally, you'd want to increase it. Okay, so that's what that's for, because you'll see in a second. So when we compress some things, they actually they seem to get quieter, although you're not. It's not really. That's not what's happening. And then you need to bring up the gain as well, but you keep all the compression in place, basically. So if we hit this on the highest ratio and play. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are looking at compression and also push from Kymatica. Okay, so now I'm talking normally, but now I shall whisper very quietly.
And now I shall talk quite loud.
So all three of those different vocal levels all sounded the same. Now also, let me just go back to where we were. Let me take the gain down a little bit as well and show you something else. You can hear, when I play this again at the beginning, you'll hear noise.
Loudly.
Go back. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are looking at compression. So there's some background noise there because of the way I said I had the gain set on the microphone so it wouldn't clip when I was shouting. So you've got some noise. Well, this is where your noise gate can come in handy. Now you're not going to need a lot here. Now, attack, release and hold on a noise gate are similar to those on the compressor, so they make quite a big difference to the sound. So at the moment we have 100 milliseconds of hold, 50 milliseconds of release, and 1 millisecond of attack. So the noise gate will work straight away, sort of thing. But just let's listen from the beginning, and we'll just start to put a little bit of noise gate in there. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are looking at compression and also push from Kymatica. Okay, so now I'm talking normally, but now I shall whisper very quietly.
And now
you can hear then the hiss goes away. But if the trouble is now, if the further I start to push the noise gate, it's going to kill the quieter parts of the vocals. So if we listen to that. Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room, where today we are looking at compression and also push from Kymatica. Okay, so now I'm talking normally, but now I shall whisper very quietly.
And now I shall talk quite loudly. This will
demonstrate some compression, full compression. So that's what happens there. Your noise gate will kill it, so you've got to be careful with that as well. Look ahead is basically it's trying to guess what's going to happen next, so it makes it smoother. The knee adjustment here just smooths out the effect, so instead of it being sort of hard and sharp, which a lot of electronic music wants to be, it's nice and smooth, and it's you need with gentle compression, nice. You don't want to know a compressor's there if it's something like jazz or something, or kind of rock music, as it were. So that's why you'd use that as well. The need just to smooth stuff out a little bit. So okay, so we've had a look at the vocal compression. Let's just reinitialize this, go back to normal, and go over to audio share, and I'm going to load another test in, and this one is this. Okay, so just bear with me a sec. Okay. So this is just a little kick drum and strings. And again, we'll start with its standard. I think what I need to do is just put that on loop. Start up again. So again, if it's all on basic, no threshold will work. So let's put this right up again, and then we'll start to drag the threshold down. So you're now starting to get that pumping effect. Now this is what I mean, it's gone quieter. But now you want to be able to make that gain back up. And the further we go down, the more drastic it is. Now, you can hear that clipping noise there. When I've brought the noise gate in. This is where our attack and release for the noise gate come in handy. So if we start to adjust our attack now, that should smooth out. And the release. And then the hold. And then more makeup gain. Now this is where it's going to get, you're going to start to hear, I'm going to expand this a little bit, and this is where you'll start to hear it sound a little bit dodgy. Take the makeup gain down a little bit. See? So that's why you need to be careful with the expansion. Now attack and release, you can hear that that's quite pumpy now. Now you hear this on your release. See? And that's it taking longer to work. And then we have a parallel dry mix. So you can mix the two if you want. And then back to 0 dB. So now you're starting to get an idea of how your compressor can affect your drums and beats and stuff. Okay, and my advice also as well is a complete mix is not really good for compression like this. You know, very gentle compression maybe, but anything that starts to get sort of over the 3 to 1 ratio is going to affect the dynamic range too much, and it's going to sound it's going to sound flat. It's going to be boring to listen to. Too much compression obviously as well. Also with the pumping thing here, you can see that when you have pump switched on, it'll push back down. That's when you get the oof da. It's similar to that. So okay. So that there's an idea of how the pump kind of works. Okay, so just let me check. Now let's see, we've done yeah. Now this is a good one. I just need to turn the actual overall volume down. Go back. This is a good one to show you some of the noise gate effects. So I won't go too much into clip and saturation because it will take too long, and I need to get the side chaining done as well. But you can see I made a preset for this, which almost takes away the vocally bit of that loop. And you see there's no compression been applied. So you can create nice rhythmic effects also using the threshold as well. So okay, now let's take a look at let's see what we can take a look at now. Yeah, we've done that one. Yeah, let's take a look at side chaining now. Side chaining is great. It's very, very cool. So here we have I'm going to leave my microphone there for this, and here I'm going to add, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take audio share. Just turn my thing on there so you can hear me. I'm going to put audio share back in there in the output slot. I'm going to turn the monitor, I'm going to have that set to record, so that's okay there as it is. So go back to push, let's go back to audio bus, and in here I'm going to put Launchpad. Okay, so I just want to check something now. Okay. So back to audio bus. So you can see what we're doing here. We can hear Launchpad because it's been monitored and going to be recorded with audio share as well in a sec. And then for here, we're going to put we're going to hit this little information here on Kymatica Push and hit key input. Okay, so what this is gonna do now, I just need to check this as well. This is all set on initial setting for now. So yeah, we'll just initialize here. Okay, so let's see. Let me just check. So here's my voice here, and my voice is going into. It's not two different instances of push, by the way. Okay, that's not how it works. It's one instance just represented twice. That's all. So you can see, and this is side chained into Launchpad. Okay. So this is the kind of thing you can do. This is that classic. I'm going to show you how to get that classic radio ducking technique. Whereas when the DJ speaks, all the background music drops out, and then comes back up again. And this is where you'll see that the release and the attack time works really well. So first of all, we're going to need to start off Launchpad. Now, as you can see, there's nothing happening at all now because I've set on 0 dB, and even if I do that, nothing's going to happen. So let's increase the ratio all the way up now. And when I should that's really weird. One, two, that's it. So what had I done wrong? Right, obviously I'd done something wrong. This is the preset I set up earlier. Oh, the joys of videoing. But you can hear now that when I talk, Launchpad has been killed, and it's the amount it's killed is down to the threshold, obviously. And I have minus 50 dB of noise gate on it as well. So if I increase the threshold, less of Launchpad is killed. And then nearly all of it will be. Now this is a good point. If we put the release right up now, and once I stop talking, it will take a while to come back. But it will still kill fairly quickly. In fact, it will kill straight away if my attack is set on 0. But let's set the attack high as well. And it takes longer for the background to fade. Take longer and longer as long as it's there. So fast attack, quick release. Sounds a bit weird. So you're going to need a little bit of something. Otherwise it starts to sound a bit odd. And of course the more we reduce the ratio, the more of Launchpad still pushes through. And then we can start to play with the pump as well. But you wouldn't really want to do that for radio ducking technique. Now, here's another thing I was going to tell you about as well. So let's go back to Audio Bus. Now, here's the cool thing. You can set this up for anything. So you could put a drum machine in there and it will duck any signal you've got running through it, obviously. So I'm recording this now. So the mix you're hearing now will be recorded. Okay, sorry. But if I play this now, you'll notice that the music will duck, but there'll be no voice. We need to go back to Audio Bus for this. So if you wanted to have your voice or anything else that you've got ducking in the mix as well, what you need to do is put another instance of audio share in there. Okay, so it's not two audio shares. It's one audio share represented twice, but now it's recording the vocal channel and the Launchpad channel and the side chain as well. So if we just need to go over to either one of those, we'll start off Launchpad. So we're recording this now. And it will record both. Great for DJs. You could do this live, couldn't you? Because once you're in, you're in. Okay, so let's pop on back over to audio share. Now you can see that this time it's worked. So we're recording this now, and it will record both. Great for DJs. So there you go. Right, guys, I've got to apologise for the few little, errors that I'm making or things, and it's things like. But I'm doing this on the fly, sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you one more thing. One more thing before we go. I'm going to go back to audio share for this, and I'm just gonna. My voice will disappear for a sec, so just bear with me. So I say, so you can hear me now. So I'm just going to launch DM1. I've launched it. Okay. And then again, push. And we're just going to leave it with the audio output there. If my voice sounds a little weird now, it's because it's been processed twice. I don't know if I can... Yeah, that's better. Okay, so... This is what I've done. I've set up. Let me just make sure that push is initialized again. Right, okay. I set up DM1 earlier with this. This is to get. This is a really good use of noise gating. Not so much compression. Well, you can compress if you like, but it's more a gate effect with reverb. Okay, and it adds a lot of power to your drums, even if they're drowned in reverb. But also, if you've recorded real studio drums or any instrument actually, in an environment where there's a lot of reverb, this is a good way to kind of sort that out. So let's just start by playing DM1. See, you can start to add real power and meat. Also, as well, I had one set up here earlier for gated drums. So We can see now certain of our settings have changed, and this should be a lot more dynamic. And we'll make it the gain. Double tap and we'll reset the double tap and we'll reset the default. So there you go, guys. Here's well, it is a quick look because, you know, compressors, limiters, expanders take a long time to get used to, and you know, they all behave slightly differently, and they all colour the sound slightly. So you know, you find one that you like, but this is really nice. Push is an excellent compressor, excellent expander. Like I said, be careful with expansion, be careful when mastering a whole mix. Always try to get someone else to do it, or send it to a professional mastering engineer. You know, they may not use any compression at all, you know, on the actual mix itself. Try and get the mix right before you finish it, so use your compressors as the mix goes along. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this. Gone on for ages and ages now. Hope you found some of it useful, and yeah, if you liked it, like the video, subscribe to the channel, visit us at thesoundtestroom.com, and please become a Patreon for as little as $1 a month. It really helps us out, or donate. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you later.